The story Quality is narrated by an unnamed first person. The story begins with the shoemaker Mr. Gessler, who spends all his time in the shoe shop. The author had known Mr. Gessler for many years. He used to make boots for his father. Mr. Gessler lived with his elder brother in their shop in London. Mr. Gessler made boots that were ordered to him. Nothing was written outside the shop other than Mr. Gessler's name. Once the author had questioned him on his making of perfectly fitting shoes, and his answer was that he considered himself as an artist. So it was his duty to make comfortable and long-lasting shoes. Mr. Gessler remained engrossed in the making of shoes most of the time and had no time to talk with anybody. On one occasion, it so happened that the author complained that the boots he were using was not properly made. The shoemaker promised to rectify the mistake and said that if he couldn't, he would return the money to the author. Once the author visited Mr. Gessler's shop. He was a bit absent-minded. He was wearing a pair of boots bought in an emergency from a large shop. Mr. Gessler carefully observed the boots. He pressed at a point on the left boot where it wasn't comfortable. Sadly, he commented that it might hurt customers, but all the big firms lured the customers with their advertisements. They don't work with dedication. It was because of such firms that he was losing business. The author felt bad for him and instantly ordered for a number of boots. Some months passed by. One day, the author went to the shoemaker's shop. He mistook Mr. Gessler for his elder brother. But after some time, when he came to know that Mr. Gessler's brother had passed away, he realized his mistake. Again he ordered for a number of pair of shoes and left for abroad. After returning, he went to the shoemaker's shop. Mr. Gessler looked so aged, though just a year had only passed. One evening, the author went personally to thank Mr. Gessler for such wonderful work. He made such splendid shoes. But the nameplate was missing from the shop. The author saw an Englishman inside the shop. The man added that Mr. Gessler had died of starvation. Mr. Gessler had failed to recognize the author. Mr. Gessler made all the boots himself. He used the best quality leather to make them. Day and night he worked hard to complete the orders on time. He made the best boots in London, but unfortunately couldn't compete with other shoemaking firms. Whatever he earned was spent to pay the rent and to buy leathers. He even had to skip meals as he had no money to buy food, but he worked for hours to make perfect boots. In fact, he was an artist. Till his death, he was an artist. That's all.